Good. It's delicious. All right, 6 p.m. Let's get this party started. Madam City Clerk, are we ready?
We are, Mayor. I have a few preliminary matters. This is Zoe Burgess, your city clerk. This regular city council meeting of March 14th, 2023 is being held with a quorum of City of Westlake Council physically in attendance at the Westlake Council Chambers, 4005 Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. Please allow me to confirm any speakers that are virtually present and available to speak. Mr. Donaldson Hearing, are you able to hear us?
Present.
Thank you. Public comments may be accepted prior to the meeting utilizing the electronic comment card available on the city's website. Public comments are also permitted at the appropriate time during the meeting. The mayor will call for such during public comment, and you may participate at this time utilizing the system's virtual hand feature and waiting to be acknowledged. Please note this meeting is being recorded, both voice and video, and to remember your mic may be live. I will mute any microphones that carry any feedback or interruptions. If you are a caller that has been muted, you may unmute yourself by pressing *6. Any person in the virtual meeting causing a disruption or being inappropriate will be removed. If I may also remind those physically in attendance, please utilize microphones so that the virtual audience and a clear recording of the meeting is produced. Thank you, Mayor O'Connor.
Thank you. I would like to call to order the regular city council meeting of March 14th, 2023 at 6:01 p.m. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Leonard.
Present.
Councilman Martinez.
Present.
Councilwoman Vayron.
Present.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Present.
Mayor O'Connor.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. If you are able, can you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Additions, deletions, and modifications. I have one that I would like to place under new business. C as in Charlie. A discussion on a spring festival event, because we all know that there ain't no party like a Westlake party. And I would like to bring something forward. So if someone can make a motion to add spring festival discussion under new business C as in Charlie.
Make a motion to add that.
Second.
Excuse me, Mayor, can I ask for clarification? By framing it as discussion, are you asking for any action to be taken?
Yes.
Then it should be reframed
Discussion and possible action.
in consideration of what.
Iteration. I love that. So let's rephrase that. New item under new business C, discussion and potential action on a
Spring
possible
festival.
spring festival event.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Or motion.
Thank you, City Attorney.
Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilwoman Vayron. Roll call. Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Vayron.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
thank you. Now we have a bit more housekeeping we might as well take care of right now. I will be in Tallahassee again for the next meeting. I hope it's an important meeting. And we also have a workshop that we need to get done. I'm hoping we can move both the meeting and the workshop a week so that I could be in attendance. We could do it both on the same day.
That would be April 11th, if it's the will of the council.
Are you adding that to the agenda for consideration?
Yes,
That would be D.
yes, D on new business.
Is that just a consensus or we need a vote on changing the date?
Well, are you going to discuss it? I mean, propose it. I think you're getting proposals from the city manager.
Right.
And it'd probably take action to
Okay.
change the date of the meeting,
So-
please.
So should we make the proposal to change the day of the meeting under new business item D for Delta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I would like a motion to add discussion and possible action of changing the day of the next council meeting under item D under new business.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilwoman Valladolid. Roll call, Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Valladolid.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very, very much. Public comments and requests?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Interrupt.
Sure.
Could you now have a motion to adopt the ordinance, I mean, the agenda as amended?
Let-
And there's one other thing on the proclamations,
Okay.
DJ. On the proclamation process, what we're going to be doing is if a proclamation comes forward, it's not just one council person that puts a proclamation on. It needs to be voted on by the entire council to actually publish the proclamation. So that will be able to add to the agenda. So we want to confirm that proclamations A and B on the proposed agenda are in line with what the council is inclined to do, and we can publish those. So I need that to be a motion at this point in time.
Could I ask that you add that to E as new business and have it adopted as procedure
Okay.
by the council going forward for the introduction and consideration of proclamations?
Yeah, I think we need to have some discussion on that as well, because some of these proclamations, including this one, is I'm declaring a month. So if we need to discuss it before we confirm the proclamation, are we talking about doing them both in the same meeting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can discuss it, say, do we want
In other
the
words,
proclamation?
What we would do is not add it on the agenda that would be in the package for you to read and consider. Then you would add it to the agenda by a vote saying, yes, we want this proclamation on the agenda. We want to do this proclamation. You put it on the agenda and pass it and do it. That way, there's a process that, how to put it this way. I'm not the gatekeeper. Attorney's not, clerk's not. It's the council. What is the council's will? Do you want that kind of a proclamation to be forward from the council or not? And it's a council
So
vote.
each proclamation we will discuss.
Yep.
And then we will proclaim.
Add to the thing. Correct.
Yes, sir. 99 times out of 100, you're going to. But you respectfully, historically, I've had councils placed in awkward positions because of proclamations presented to them by certain organizations or entity that may have been brought forward by a member of the commission or council that may not be in total agreement with council's position. It gives you the opportunity to review it, consider it, debate it before you act on it. So it's as the city manager said, you're the gatekeeper. You all will collectively decide what to publish as a proclamation from the city of Westlake, as opposed to just individually submitting them and having them automatically adopt.
Understood. So if that's going to be under new business E today, then subsequently we have to move presentations and proclamations
Well,
after.
you could can go forward with the same procedure until you consider it under new business.
We consider the process. We can go ahead if the council
Tonight,
is good
if
with
you're-
these for
if you're-
tonight,
So I'm gonna do the proclamations,
for tonight.
and then
If
moving
you're good with
forward, we will discuss them previous to each
And
proclamation.
unless anybody wants to remove one of them from
Well,
the
let me
agenda.
take a look. I think I'm okay with Let's Move Palm Beach County. And I think I'm perfectly okay with March being Florida Bicycle Month, so no qualms from me. All right, so we've modified the agenda to add C, D, and E.
Correct.
I need a motion to approve the agenda as modified.
Motion to approve agenda as modified.
I'm sorry, I don't think I had a motion for the adding E,
Adding
the
E, I need
proclamation.
a motion to add E,
Discussion
procedure,
procedure.
discussion procedure proclamations.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we add letter E, proclamation procedures, to our agenda under new business.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Leonard, seconded by Councilman Martinez. Roll call. Councilwoman Valladolid.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Now I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended, including items C, D, and E.
Motion to approve the agenda as modified, A, B, C, D, E.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Martinez, seconded by Councilwoman Leonard. Roll call, Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Valladon.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right. Public comments and requests. This section of the agenda allows for comments from the public to speak. Each speaker will be given a total of 3 minutes to comment. A public comment card should be completed and returned to the city clerk. When you're called to speak, please go to the podium, unmute your device, and prior to addressing the council, state your name and address for the record. Do we have any public comments? Madam Clerk.
I received no previous comment cards at this time. I'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a virtual comment, please raise your virtual hand or unmute your device, state your name and address. If you've been muted, please press *6. Here we have no comments.
Thank you. Consent agenda. This section of the agenda consists of routine or administrative items that require final approval by the city council and may be approved in its entirety by a single motion. There will be no discussion of these items unless a council member requests such, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered on a future agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Valladon, seconded by Vice Mayor Langowski. Roll call, Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Valladon.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Fantastic. Presentations and proclamations. We have before us a presentation declaring March 2023 as Florida Bicycle Month, sponsored by Vice Mayor Greg Langowski, which I will now read into the record. Declaring March 2023 as Florida Bicycle Month. Whereas City of Westlake residents and visitors engage in bicycling as viable and environmentally sound form of transportation, an excellent form of physical activity and recreation, and whereas the state of Florida designates March as Bicycle Month and Palm Beach County will recognize it locally, and whereas Florida Bicycle Month features a number of fitness opportunities and events for riders of all ages to enjoy throughout the month of various parks and locations throughout Palm Beach County. And whereas the recognition of Florida Bicycle Month will raise awareness of bicycling and ultimately promote physical activity and healthy lifestyles by elevating bicycling as more widely accepted choice of transportation. Whereas the Palm Beach Transportation Planning Agency plans and recommends projects to make bicycling more accessible and promotes comprehensive community education efforts aimed at improving bicycle safety. And whereas Palm Beach County has ever expanding designated or enhanced bicycle lane network with over 250 miles of existing and 745 miles of planned facilities to create a safe, connected system of bicycle infrastructure. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City of Westlake, assembled in regular session this 14th day of March 2023, that the month of March 2023 in City of Westlake is hereby proclaimed Florida Bicycle Month. Be it further proclaimed by the City of Westlake that this proclamation is duly sealed, ribboned, and executed by the members of this council. The foregoing proclamation was sponsored by the Honorable Vice Mayor Greg Langowski, and upon unanimous consent of the council, the mayor declared the proclamation duly enacted. Very good. I'm going to sign this right now.
And Palm Beach County declared it today. So, it was, today at the council, Board of County Commissioners meeting.
Oh,
They
great,
put into the proclamation.
great, fantastic. All right, now, we have another one of these. Before us, we have the proclamation for Let's Move Palm Beach County, and I will now read it into the record. Declaring March 23 as Let's Move Palm Beach County. The City of Westlake takes special notice and acknowledges exceptional organizations that help residents who live, work, and play within the jurisdiction. And in 2010, Digital Vibes was founded to reach out to underserved youth in Palm Beach County by empowering them through dance, fitness, technology, and the arts. And Digital Vibes partners with the Palm Beach Health Foundation annually to host the Let's Move Commit to Change Physical Activity Challenge, a countywide initiative that focuses on physical activity, nutrition, and healthy behavior. Digital Vibes Inc. and Palm Beach Health Foundation presents the annual challenge, which takes place annually from March 1st through the 31st, encourages individuals within and beyond Palm Beach County to take charge of their health by participating in fun fitness exercises. The Let's Move initiative was originally introduced on the national level by First Lady Michelle Obama in 2010, with the goal of decreasing childhood obesity throughout the United States due to the fact that nearly 1 in 3 children in the United States are overweight or obese, and if the problem persists, 1/3 of children born 2000 or later will suffer from diabetes at some point in their lives or will face obesity-related health problems such as heart disease, high blood pressure, asthma, and cancer. And Digital Vibes and Palm Beach Health Foundation invite all residents to take the challenge to move by forming teams, registering online, committing to exercising for at least 30 minutes a day throughout the month of March, and logging their minutes on the Let's Move website, which is www.letsmovepbc.org. In 2012, Palm Beach County logged 100,000 minutes in the first year of the challenge, and we have met the challenge each year since rising in 2021 to over 59 minutes logged. Now, therefore, I, John Paul O'Connor, Mayor of Westlake, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Let's Move Palm Beach County. It's now read into the record and signed. All right. Moving forward with public hearing, we have before us application AIPP-2022-01, which is an application for the proposed art sculpture installed called Orange with Three Blossoms for the James Business Park development. If the city attorney would both swear in any and everyone who may speak on the matter, as well as read the application by title only into record.
Thank you, Mayor. All those individuals who could testify during the course of this proceeding, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
As you indicated, Mayor, this is an application requesting approval of proposed art sculpture installation called Orange with Three Blossoms for the James Business Park development. This will be represented not by ordinance or resolution, by a development order based on the city council's actions this evening.
Excellent. P&Z.
Thank you. Good evening. For the record, Osnil Leon, Senior Planner for the City of Westlake. Before you is a request for approval of a public art sculpture installation for the James Business Park development located at Pod G Southwest. Just for a background, ordinance number 2021-12 was just recently passed by City Council, which requires all non-residential development projects with building construction cost of $1 million as determined by the city building official or more shall be subject to the requirements of this ordinance. The non-residential development must either contribute 1% of the building construction cost of the project as a fee for the art acquisition fund, or provide artwork that has been appraised value equal to 0.75%, so 0.75% of the building construction cost. Ineligible artwork, art objects which are mass produced or standard manufactured, such as playground equipment, fountains, statuary elements, signage, maps, corporate logos, or other functional elements, unless incorporated into the artwork by an artist commissioned for that purpose, shall be ineligible. Reproductions by mechanical or other means of original artwork, except in cases of limited editions controlled by the artist, cast sculptures, film, video, photography, printmaking, or other media arts. Commercial expressions, including design elements related to visual identity of a developer or occupant of buildings, such as logo, trademark, color scheme, or theme, even if created by an artist. Services and utilities necessary to operate and maintain an artwork over time. This proposal, the applicant has chosen to provide artwork on site. Per the applicant submitted estimated cost of vertical construction. The total both buildings is approximately $13 million, and the proposed artwork is actually 200,000, the latest proposal the applicant submitted, which exceeds the required 97,500,000, which is 0.75%. The proposed sculpture will be located at the northwest corner of the site, and the applicant has revised the previously approved master signage plan in order to accommodate the proposed artwork, installation, and the monument sign. In the red, you can see the location of the proposed artwork at the northwest corner of the site, right in the corner of the intersection. And also the revised master signage plan has been, again, revised to accommodate the location of this artwork, which also has a sign. Here's a picture of the proposed artwork. Is designed as a static movement. It's called Orange with Three Blossoms. Includes 3 orange blossom flowers, each with 13 anthers, totaling 39 anthers, which represent the Westlake as the 39th municipality. Provides the viewer with optical illusion of movement as they walk or drive by the sculpture. The anthers are a vital part of the flower, responsible for the pollination seeds and the new and next generations of orange blossoms. The signage, area font, and silver color connects to the silver accents on the buildings and complements the spherical shape of the artwork. Here's this sculpture details provided. The artwork, it's integrated with the overall landscape. It will be located at the northwest corner again of the site and is complemented by landscaping. The landscaping plan proposes a small ligustrum trees behind the art to create a green barrier. Flowering shrubs line up in front of the layer effect. At the base of the sculpture will be covered with blue glass rocks, and large palms are provided for scale purposes. The ordinance has criteria for staff to review artwork. One, we look at the experience of the artist. The artist, Mr. Alfonso, provides over 20 years designing large monumental kinetic, light, and interactive sculptures for public places around the world, including Russia, China, Europe, Taiwan, United Arab Emirates, and the USA. Sculpture designs ranging in size from 2 feet to 1,000 feet in height. The ability for the artist to complete the project. Again, the artist will be able to complete the project as scheduled, since it possesses extensive experience and specializes in this type of artwork and execution of large, monumental, environmentally interactive, kinetic, and light sculpture for public places. And again, the sculpture complies with all the standards established in Ordinance 2021-12 and the zoning requirements for setbacks and landscaping. The artwork will be providing lighting from dusk until midnight with in-ground LED spotlights around the orange sphere and in-ground directional LED spotlights. The artwork shall not be altered or removed from the site without prior approval of City Council. And the maintenance will be done as a maintenance agreement between the property owner and the company that fabricates and installs the artwork to perform regular maintenance. The applicant also will be submitting an executed maintenance agreement to the city prior issuance of building permit, which is a condition of approval. And again, the sculpture complies with all applicable zoning and fire codes.
Thank you.
Again, the application was approved by the Arts and Public boards, and staff does recommend approval with 2 conditions of approval. The sign shall be relocated as to not encroach into the landscape or site buffers, and also an executed maintenance agreement shall be provided to the city prior to building permit issuance. And the applicant has requested to amend the condition number 2 to, instead of building permit issuance, to be at final CO, and and staff has no objections to that request.
Excellent.
Be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Leon?
And I believe the applicant's on the line for presentation.
Do we know if this is being built in the US? Random question.
It is. This is being manufactured.
Excuse me, sir, Don, wait till you have the opportunity to be introduced. This question is directed to staff.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
If the sculpture is being built in the US?
Yes.
I think it looks amazing. Beautiful piece, nice.
We have another presentation from Mr. Hearing.
Correct. Now the applicant gets to present the case.
Let's save our discussion for after. Mr. Hearing.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Mayor and council. For the record, Donaldson Hearing here tonight on behalf of Jamlin Supply. I think Zoe's going to pull up my presentation, and I'll do the best not to repeat any of the great information that was provided by Osnell. Here we go. Okay. Okay, I am now the presenter. So, well, so the applicant is Jamlin Supply. Juliana Silva, who is one of the founding partners that started Jamlin Supply, did have the opportunity to come to the Art in Public Places meeting, really to express not only her great appreciation for the to the city for helping them with their project, but also to share her excitement about the proposed Art in Public Places. And I believe Mr. Mayor was in attendance and could attest to, the excitement and how much energy and intentionality really went into this request. So, it might look like just a simple piece of art, but if you've had the opportunity to review the staff report, it really goes much deeper. The artist was and the developer, really wanted to make sure that it had meaning. And for us as planners in the city, it's important because this is the first piece of Art in Public Places that's coming out of the shot. So as was pointed out, if they're proposing what looks to be like a giant orange being peeled. And that's very contextual because Callery Judge Groves was a orange grove. That was the genesis of the city. The orange blossom, which is featured in the art piece, is the state flower. And then, of course, it goes on further with the 3 flowers and the 39 anthers, which represent really what the city is about and in terms of its future generations that will be living here. The project, as you're aware, is really located in a very key location on the west side of Seminole Pratt, right at the intersection of Town Center Parkway South and Persimmon. And so we, in working with staff very early on, and when it came to you as a site plan, we identified the location of the art as being on the hard corner of Town Center Parkway and Persimmon. And, that is important too. And looking and evaluating art is it at the right location? And in this case, it is. It's a fairly large monumental piece. And I think, as it was pointed out by Osnell, that they've actually are spending over $200,000 on the art, which is a little bit over 2 times the requirement. And they're excited to do it. They're very excited to be a part of the city of Westlake and to have this piece. And it's good for us because we have something to point to. We also, as your city attorney will tell you, have worked with the artist to obtain a copyright waiver so that the city is able to utilize the art as a part of its celebration of the city of Westlake, whether it's in publications or if it's on your website, because it's certainly something that's excited, and we certainly want other developers to come to be able to do something just as great as what they're doing. As a reminder, this is the building elevations. This is a large flex building. About half of it will be utilized by Jamlin, who's an e-commerce company. They've been very successful in their leasing, and I know that they're excited to come out of the ground very, very quickly. And that's why we ask you if you would kindly move the one condition for the maintenance agreement to the CO. So there's no chance of the building permit being delayed. So this is the location right at the hard corner of Town Center Parkway South and Persimmon. And the landscaping was designed to be very intentional with the sculpture. We did not want to compete with the sculpture. So there's not a whole bunch of tall palms that will distract you from looking at the sculpture itself. And then with dark green background, and then we have some flowering shrubs that have a tulip shaped flower, which is like an off-white yellow flower, which will just kind of complement what's going on, and some flowering Bolinesia or Vera wood trees that will be in the background, which will be very, very nice. The art is actually on what we're referring to as a plateau. So we raised it up so it's on a 2-foot plateau, and then the artwork itself is about 10 feet in height. So this way, it's really on a very, very prominent corner at a prominent elevation on the site. And this is the rendering that shows the ligustrums in the back, really just to create a dark background, not to compete with the artwork itself. And it's orange as if it's being peeled. That gives you that idea as if it's moving as you're walking by. And so very, very excited about this particular piece of art. The art is fabricated out of high intensity aluminum. It's powder coated, and so it's very resistant to the elements. It will need to be washed and waxed every once in a while just to keep it fresh, but there's very little maintenance that's required. It is illuminated in accordance with the requirements of the code. And I guess some of the thoughts of the artist and what they were thinking about. It's just, this is what art should be. It should be thoughtful and not just something that's, plopped down out of a catalog, which is really the intent of your ordinance, is to encourage exactly what has occurred. And as you may recall, when the ordinance was written, it was really written to encourage people to do art on site as opposed to just writing a check. So in this particular case, if they were to do it on site, it's 0.75% of their vertical construction cost versus 1% if they write a check. In this case, it's almost 2% of the vertical construction cost. So we're very, very excited about the project. This was reviewed with you. There was a question about the manufacturer. So the artist is having the art manufactured by a fabricator that's located in the south part of Florida here in Dade County, called EES Studio Design. And they fabricate for designers all around the country, and they happen to be located right here in our back door. Of course, everything will meet hurricane standards. And one additional point, when we were meeting with your Art and Public Places Board, we did agree also to put in security cameras on the corner of the building. So to have additional security cameras at this location, just so that we have a good record of what goes on. These are some of the colors, the powder coated aluminum, and the samples, all very, very high quality materials that are being proposed. And so with that, we're very, very excited about the project. And I think that this is setting a stage and an expectation for all future art to come after us. So I thank you very much and are happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Herring. So I was at the presentation at the Arts and Public Places Committee, And I just have to say that everything about this artwork, I mean, it's so intentional. Everything from the three sets of 13 anthers to represent the 39th municipality, and the artist really took everything. The the fact that we were all orange groves at one point, the fact that the orange is the represents the state of Florida. I mean, he even went as far as the anthers are responsible for pollination, and that's the future generations of Westlake to come. I I'm gonna say it. They have set the bar. This is our first installation under the Arts and Public Places Ordinance, and they have set the bar so incredibly high. I, I'm beyond impressed. Um, they did an incredible job, and I very much look forward to this being done. The only question I would have is when will it be finished? Don, when can we
The art
expect it
has
to?
to be in place prior to the certificate of occupancy of the building. So they're planning on moving forward. I believe that they're either in for permits or very close to being in for permits, and going full steam, and super excited about having their corporate headquarters in the city of Westlake.
Fantastic. Are there any comments or questions from the rest of the council?
I'm also excited. It looks amazing.
Amazing.
Great.
They set the bar high, which is great because
did.
now I love it. Let's open up for public comment.
Mayor, I received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hands. If you're a caller that has been muted, you may press *6 to speak. Please state your name and address. You have 3 minutes.
Mayor and council members, my name is Gary Werner, 16005 Key Biscayne Lane in Westlake. I agree with the mayor. This is setting the bar very high for the city. And I think they've done a wonderful job. Just one question, whether there was any consideration to maybe plant a couple orange trees in the background where he has several trees already shown. It might have been considered already. I'm not a landscape person, so I don't know if that would fit in well. But in terms of what the theme is, seems like it might be something worth considering.
I'm going to let Mr. Hearing, the landscape master, comment on that.
Orange trees, that
I'll do that. And having just returned from Spain for 3 weeks and looking at all the beautiful orange trees, ornamental orange trees throughout the country, I love the idea. I think the only concern is that, in Florida, we really can't obtain decent size orange trees that would go in at the time of development. So, most orange trees are very, very small and they take a lot of time to grow. And so we've utilized the ligustrum tree where we can have, an instant look. And so, I mean, your thought is wonderful. And if we could get 10-foot ornamental orange trees, we would do it all day long.
Don, I would also add that aren't susceptible to greening, which is a problem in Florida right now on the orange.
Yeah,
orange
what
crops.
disease and maintenance is obvious.
Historically, don't we have specifically on our soil an issue with orange trees?
Yes, that's what.
They didn't work out too well the first go around.
It survives in the soil, so even.
Well, there you have it, Mr. Werner.
Great idea.
That was a great.
Trust me, I'm sure if we could, Don would have done
Great
it.
comment. Yeah, great comment.
I sure would.
Any other public comment, virtually or present?
If you're a virtual caller and you wish to make a comment, please raise your virtual hand or unmute your device. If you're a caller that's been muted, please press *6. Please state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes. We have no comments, Mayor.
There be no further discussion. May I have a motion to approve application AIPP 2022-01?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilwoman Villarone. Roll call, Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Villarone,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have before us ordinance 2022-16 for sexually oriented businesses. City Attorney, please read the ordinance by title only into record.
Yes, sir. Ordinance by title only, an ordinance of the City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances by creating a section to be created entitled Sexually Oriented Businesses, providing for definitions of sexually oriented businesses, providing for licensing and regulation of such businesses and their employees, providing for distance separation between entertainers and patrons in sexually oriented businesses, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
P and Z.
Good evening again. For the record, Osnil Leon, Senior Planner of the City of Westlake. This ordinance was approved by City Council on the first reading. There has been no changes from the first reading. Staff does recommend approval of second reading for this ordinance.
Any comments or questions from the council? Do we swear in?
No, sir, if I could just highlight this ordinance for the council and for the
Please.
record. This is a regulatory ordinance in nature. It's intended to regulate sexually oriented businesses within this city of Westlake. They are allowed. They are recognized as business, but there are certain regulations that are required to have a license. They'll be limited to the hours of operation. They'll not be allowed to sell alcohol, and there is a distance requirement between schools, parks, and other sexually oriented businesses. That's the highlight. I don't think I need to go into the graphic details of the ordinance itself, but just to ensure that you understand it's imposing a regulatory scheme on these businesses.
Thank you, Councilman.
Yes, sir.
Questions or comments from the council? Let's go ahead and open up for public hearing. Do we have any questions or comments from the public?
Mayor, I received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hands. And we have a comment from Westlake Wanderer.
Hi, Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill Circle. During the first reading, it looked like there was, when you took the distance part of the ordinance into consideration, there was like a rectangle running down this Seminole Pratt Whitney, a little bit north of the high school, where their, adult establishments could be given I think it's that one right there. I just wondered, does this include the school, the elementary school that should be coming in 2027, I think it is? That's the one. Yeah. Does that, take into consideration that new school?
Way over here. The middle school.
The new school.
The middle school that we built at by Sky Cove.
Yeah, right. The one that's going by Sky Cove.
That's further than, that's outside the distance of the boundaries that have been set by the ordinance.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Any more public comments?
If you wish to make a public comment, please raise your virtual hand. If you've been muted, please press *6, state your name and your address. You have 3 minutes. I see no comments, Mayor.
If there are no further discussion, may I have a motion to approve ordinance 2022-16?
Motion to approve ordinance 2022-16.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Martinez, seconded by Councilwoman Villarone. Roll call, Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Villarone,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Leon. We have before us the first reading of ordinance 2023-01, amendment to essential facilities and services. Mr. City Attorney, will you please read the ordinance by title only?
Yes, sir. Ordinance of the City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, amending ordinance 2019-9 is set forth in the city's code of ordinances, providing for the creation of section 3 to be entitled Essential Facilities and Services, providing for essential facility services, providing for height of structures, providing for screening and buffering, providing for exemptions from property development regulations, providing for setback requirements, providing for codification, conflicts, severability, and effective date.
Thank you. P and Z.
Thank you. For the record, Neil Leon, Senior Planner of the City of Westlake. This ordinance was approved by the Land Planning Agency. Staff recommends approval, first reading. Sid will be providing us with in the language the staff will look at, and we'll bring you for the second reading, most likely an amended language.
Thank you. Comments from council?
Yes, I do. Are we looking at a second reading in April or May? You said April. April.
Yeah.
Okay,
Continue.
that's it.
Any more questions from the council or comments?
No comment.
There's no further discussion. May I have a motion to approve second reading?
First reading.
First reading.
No.
And then
First reading of ordinance 2023-01.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the first reading of ordinance number 2023-01.
I need a second.
Second.
Everybody seconds.
Motion by Councilwoman Leonard, seconded by Councilman Martinez. Roll call. Councilwoman Villarreal.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. We have before us resolution 2023-09, a non-exclusive permissive use agreement. City Attorney, please read resolution by title only.
resolution of the City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city council member to execute the non-exclusive permissive use agreement between the Westlake Residents Master Homeowner Association and the City of Westlake, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Mr. City Manager, want to explain this item further?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. As we continue to grow, we've outgrown this, and the amenity center is coming online shortly. Mr. Carter and Minto has offered us to be able to utilize that facility for our council meetings, as well as other times that the council may need to host something at an event. This puts into place the process for us to rent that space. It also provides for whether we use a half a space or full space. It includes setup, tear down, staff, cleanup. Basically, we walk in, the event happens, we walk out, it's cleaned up, it's all covered. We will be bringing an amendment to this as to some clarification on the payment of the use fee. There was a question that raised of, well, if we cancel the event, we're going to work on an addendum to this agreement so that we have a true up at the end of the year, or look at the thing so that if we have something scheduled, we end up canceling in a time frame that where they haven't expended time and energy on it, that we will either credit it towards our next event or
Sure.
whatever. We'll work that out on the details of the addendum.
Excellent.
And as a side, one of the things that they did in anticipating us utilizing it is their sound system is set up so that our whole sound system can be on a cart. We can roll it out, put the mics out, plug it into the sound system of the building and operate. So there's been a lot of behind the scenes cooperation in making it so that it's a seamless operation for us to be able to use it, or anybody else in the event. And our sound system would be stored in a room and locked. So that it's been a really great working relationship to get this thing going.
The only comment I'll make is I've seen the facilities and they're absolutely beautiful. It's incredible. I look forward to everybody's seeing them. And I think that in essence, moving our chambers and our meetings to that space, being right at the phase two of the amenity center, we're going to get a lot more public to show up to meetings, which I think is great. There's golf cart parking, and I think it'll be a lot easier for residents and our constituents to come and attend these meetings, which I encourage. So, any questions from council? Is this a vote or do we need?
Yes, sir,
Direction?
it's a resolution. You should consider a motion to adopt the resolution.
So let
But
us,
I think if you could, just the record, council is here, would like to address.
Sure.
more.
and then should we open up for public comment on this specific item
If
as well?
you care to, yes, sir.
Why not?
Good evening. You didn't think you'd get away without hearing from me. Tara Dewey on behalf of Westlake Residences Master HOA Inc. Just to confirm, we are perfectly amenable to making adjustments to the agreements to make sure that the city isn't charged for events that aren't held or use that isn't used. So we will work with the city attorney to make that happen.
Thank you. Not that I don't love our chambers, but it is a major upgrade. Major upgrade. Let's go ahead and open a public comment, Zoe.
I received no public comments prior. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to speak on this item. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your virtual hand. If you're a caller that has been muted, please press *6. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address. Mayor, I have no comments.
There be no further discussion. Let's go ahead and have a motion to adopt resolution 2023-09.
Motion to approve, adopt resolution 2023-09.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Valleron, seconded by Councilwoman Leonard. Roll call, Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Valleron.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Fantastic. Moving on to item C, well, the laundry list of items that we added at the beginning of the meeting. But this one's a lot of fun. So item C is I'd like to propose our very first City of Westlake Spring Festival. At one of our last meetings, we all agreed that we would have quarterly events. Our last event was the Christmas pop-up market. This event will be on April 8th, which is the day before Easter. And all these pieces kind of moved into place very quickly and easily. But we're talking about a helicopter dropping 10,000 eggs, Easter bunnies, face painters, balloon twisters.
Out of the helicopter?
No, just the eggs out of the helicopter. There's gonna be, candy and things inside the eggs, and a handful of the eggs will have these golden tickets in them. That, kids will win a big basket if you get the golden ticket, and there's gonna be some entertainment. We have very generous sponsors who have already lined up to cover the entire event. We've already locked in 5 or so food trucks, and this is all assuming that the council agrees that we should move forward with the event. If we do so, I would like to also lock in that this be an annual event that we can do every single year. But, in spirit with having quarterly events, and I can't think of a better time period than spring, I would love a motion to have a spring festival and make it on an annual basis.
I think it's a great idea. The kids of Westlake are gonna be very inspired.
I think so. Do we
Yeah.
have any more questions or comments from the council?
So my only question, and I was waiting for the question section, but Are we gonna conflict with the association? The Adventure Park usually has something for Easter. So I wasn't sure if that day, have we checked to make sure that
I
nothing
Don't
has,
believe there's something on the 8th.
that was the only thing I would think of, because they usually have an event at the Adventure Park or something for holidays.
Yeah. I'm not
That's
sure.
your
I
only-
don't believe there, I know that the hammocks specifically was planning something on that day, and there is an hour of overlap. But this being for the entire city,
Check with the
I think
Adventure
it's great,
Park,
but
right, because theirs is for the whole city too.
yeah. Yeah, we'll double check that. I could probably do that right now.
Yep, Tara.
Ms. Dewey,
Hi, Tara Dewey on behalf of Minto PBLH LLC. To the extent that this event takes place prior to your next board meeting, Minto is happy to enter into a use agreement for parking in substantially the same form as previously been approved by you, and we will happily work with the city attorney to get that executed in advance of the event.
And we will cover the insurance on the other as well.
Thank you.
thank you. very
Thank you.
much. I'm gonna,
Standard package.
well, let's just make the date pending, because we certainly don't want to overlap anything that the adventure park might be doing, but let's go ahead, and if I could get council direction on, can we have a spring festival and can we make it an annual event?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I'd like the idea, and I'd make a motion that we have a citywide Easter egg event, spring fling, I don't know what the name.
Call it a spring festival.
Spring festival,
Spring festival.
and make it an annual event.
Love it. Second.
What would be the date?
Tentatively, the 8th.
For the second Saturday of April, should we, instead of giving it a date for next year, it
Easter
might not.
changes every year.
Right, yeah, so let's
Can't
do
give
the
a
second
specific.
Saturday.
Of
I mean,
April?
I'd like to have it in April. Doesn't always have to fall
On
the
the
day
8th,
before another
right.
holiday.
Right,
I'm gonna be in Tallahassee for the first week of April. That's part of the reason that we didn't pick one of those weekends. So perhaps we can just make it an annual event in April.
Yes, sir.
so I amend my motion. I'd like to
second it.
amend my motion that
And
we,
yeah, he seconded.
right, but I need to amend it to,
Okay.
It's
To
Spring
include-
Festival
In April.
held annually in April.
that, no. I'd like to make a motion to, we have a spring festival annually in the month of April at in the city of Westlake.
And I second it.
Motion by Councilwoman Leonard, excuse me, seconded by Councilman Martinez. Roll call, Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Valleron,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Excellent. Now I gotta remember what item D was.
It is
I
moving,
believe
it
it
is
is-
moving the April meeting
Moving the April meeting. That is correct.
and
Item
a joint workshop.
D as in Delta.
So I have a conflict on the 11th. I'll be in Tampa for 3 days. for
Okay.
meetings.
So do I.
So the 11th will not work for me.
All right, so let's pick another day. This is the discussion part of the of item D as in Delta.
Yeah, that won't work the 11th or 12th for me either.
Oh, so it doesn't work?
So if we
with
do the
them?
following Tuesday, I'm not sure, the 21st, is that too late for you, Ken?
The following
We
Tuesday.
need to have the
The
meeting, so we
following
need to
Tuesday?
reschedule the meeting and the training.
Right.
'Cause the meeting
18 you're
was
talking
here.
about?
The 18th?
21st would be the following Tuesday.
18th.
Oh,
is the
sorry.
following
I'm
meeting.
looking at It's possible.
18th.
I got too many calendars going.
I'm unavailable the 18th.
Paper.
Unavailable.
I'm out of town that week.
I'm unavailable the 18th. That's what
All right, do we have to do it on a Tuesday?
Are you
No.
available, you
No.
said, on the 18th?
No.
Laura? You're not, okay.
What about Monday, the 17th?
I'm available Monday the 17th.
I'm out of town that whole week.
Oh, he's out of town.
Okay.
But about Wednesday, the 12th?
I'm
The
a bit,
10th, Monday the 10th?
I'd be back on the 13th. If you, like, if we did a meeting the 13th, no?
I work the 13th.
Okay.
I'm available the
All
14th.
right, how about the 10th? Are you in on the 10th?
That's 2 for
10th.
14.
April 10th, I'm
10,
here.
I work the
Hey,
10th.
you work the 10th.
The 14th, you said?
Friday.
Oh, that is a Friday.
I don't do anything exciting on Friday. I'm bad.
Oh, another.
What's, so we only
No,
have
okay.
one out
Right.
on the 10th, so we still have a majority?
No, but he comes
No.
on the 13th.
All right, he'll be here. on-
13th.
The 11th, 12th, the 13th, I can come at night. Yes, I'll be here. I'll drive back.
What about what about,
Monday, the
following week?
17th.
Either the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st?
You're out.
I'm gone the whole week.
Oh, he's out the whole.
All right, what about the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th?
24, 26, 27, I'm available.
Does anybody have any conflicts with 24th? What is it?
24th, yeah, 24th
5th,
works.
6th, 7th?
25th, I can't.
So 24th, 26th, 27th?
Yep.
Oh, that's my birthday, the 25th, so I won't.
Okay, well,
The 24th works.
2 for 24.
April 24th.
Are you ready for the 24th?
I'm available for the
Okay.
It's the
20th.
24th, hold on,
Hold on,
we
hold
almost
on.
have Yahtzee here.
I have to see my calendar. Hold
We
on.
got 4 out of 5.
24. Okay. No, I'm working the 24th.
Okay, that's Hmm.
I'm off the 25th, the 26th,
Let
27th.
me get the 26th.
26?
Yeah.
26?
26 is good.
26?
26?
I can do that.
Yes, 26, yes, 26, yes,
Yeah.
yes. 5 for 26.
Well,
10? 10? 10 has been quiet.
26 works.
26.
Okay, so
All right.
Wednesday, the 26th.
Wednesday, April 26th. The council meeting would be at 6 PM and the joint workshop with Sid would be at 5.
Perfect. And we are discussing the park.
It's kind of a combination, we're supposed to have an annual joint meeting with Sid, but we'll be discussing the park and what's kind of in the view right now is initial planning and scope and see if we're covering everything and then go from there.
Beautiful. And this is Wednesday, April 26th.
Yeah.
Wednesday, April 26th.
Does it matter that our next council meeting is the following
We
6 days later?
No.
No, and we're leaving that one exactly the way. it is.
Do you want to do this again?
I have asked you to entertain a motion to call a special meeting in a workshop for April 26th. Because it's not your regular scheduled meeting.
Right.
So if you would, I'd rather you call it a special meeting. Since
And
you're-
joint
it's
workshop.
really outside your schedule.
Okay,
Way outside.
Way outside.
So if you would call for a workshop and special meeting on April 26th.
Like to call for a workshop and special meeting on April 26th.
Workshop beginning at 5 PM, meeting at 6.
Yes, sir.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Martinez, seconded by Vice Mayor Langowski. Roll call, Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Valladolid.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
excellent. Item E is
Proclamation.
discussion on proclamations, procedure.
Yes, sir.
Ken, you want to refresh that one again?
Yes, bottom line is on the procedure for proclamations, what we will do is as we receive them from an individual council member or from a, what we call a partner group like the county on a resolution, that will be presented to you outside the agenda, but in advance. At the beginning of the meeting, as you add things to the agenda, you amend the agenda, you'll vote to add whichever ones you want to add as proclamations. They'll be ready to read. If you don't add it, it doesn't go forward. That way we have a process where the entire council is in
Well, we need a
agreement.
majority to.
Majority of the council is in agreement with that proclamation. So it keeps us out of trouble.
That should be fine. Everybody, we need to vote.
Yes, sir, if you would.
I'd like to entertain a motion to add a procedure in which we decide on proclamations as a council prior to reading them into record.
Second. Right, I'll make a motion for that.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilwoman Valladolid. Roll call, Councilman Martinez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Valladolid.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard. Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to council comments. Councilwoman Leonard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have no comments, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Councilman Martinez.
Just want to say, we recently went to Palm Beach County for Palm Beach County Days. A few of us were able to make
Tallahassee
it.
for Palm Beach County Days.
Tallahassee, Palm Beach County Days.
You went to Palm Beach?
Yeah, no, we had a great time, met with our senators, representatives, networking. Hopefully we'll be able to bring some things back to Westlake that'll help build some things we want and speed up the process. So that's what we had going on last week. That's where we were. So, besides that,
Excellent. Councilwoman Bayron.
No comments, but looking forward for April. We're gonna have a lot of entertainment in April.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
Two things. I wanted to give a shout out to Palm Beach County Fire Rescue and Drew Rayburn for inviting me out to Fire Ops 101 to represent the city of Westlake. It was a day of training out at the main facility on Pike Road with other fellow elected officials and community members. But we got a chance to fight fires, use the jaws of life, but just see what paramedics and firefighters go through on a daily basis to protect and service. So just wanted to say thank you to the Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. I know Mr. Christmas is here too. And also wanted to bring up that the Education Youth Advisory Board is looking to meet on the 30th of this month at 6:30 in this location. I wanted to just mention an idea. We're going to discuss it as the board, but I just want to bring it before the council. Maybe a potential idea of having a end of the year school event, maybe in partnership with Master HOA at the Adventure Park for kids. It'll be the end of the school year, but that's something we might discuss at that meeting. Just wanted to bring it forward just so if it gets brought up at a future meeting.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. To echo Councilman Martinez, Vice Mayor, myself, and Councilman Martinez were in Tallahassee last week. After redistricting, we have a new senator, Senator Gail Harrell. She was kind enough to give the city of Westlake a nice shout out from the Senate floor. She recognized us and made it a point to say that we were the second youngest city in the state of Florida, second only to Indiantown, but certainly the newest city in Palm Beach County. And we were just out there waving the Westlake flag. So it was definitely a fruitful trip. And I'm looking forward to April, and I thank my colleagues for all their hard work. Let's move forward with staff reports. Oh. One more thing, Mr. Castle.
Sir.
So we lit the town red for heart health.
Yes, sir.
Still red. We're in March, moving into April, but we're in March. Why don't we go green for St. Patty's Day?
We
Can
can do
your
that.
friends at Sid?
We can do that. I can pass it. I can pass it.
green.
I can pass it along to the guys. Also, the master developer has been experimenting with some of the lights on the totems as well,
Okay.
which actually gave us some interesting ideas about adding some lighting to the
All right.
to the
Excellent.
monuments.
Yeah, I think green is appropriate for
Green it will
for
be.
now. So make it so, Mr. Castle.
We can do that.
Do we have a report from Mr. Castle? No,
Sheriff back there. Yeah.
I see him.
Greg,
I mean, I'm
back
sorry.
Mr.
Geez,
Council's over here.
Mr. Castle's over here. Captain
Greg
Turner.
back there.
Captain Turner.
Next guy.
I was looking for LT. I didn't see him back there.
no, I don't let him do these yet. We're getting there though. I think everybody had a chance to at least look at the digital copy, but I figured I'd bring you a hard copy of everything.
Please.
I believe this is the second year we actually have a full year-to-year comparison that we're able to do, which is going to kind of show the growth of the city, where you're at now and what you're going to look for in the future as far as crime trends and other issues that you might have. So if you can go to the next slide. Oh, do I? Look at that. You trust me too much. Table of contents, we're going to go through all of that. All right, you have 6 deputies now for the city of Westlake. We added 1 additional relief deputy. So one of them, Deputy Duvall, is a day shift relief deputy, and Deputy Turner, no relation, is the night shift deputy. So when we have any events that are coming up, we have the safety day coming up and the other 4th of July and the other events that we have. Basically, we're going to make sure that those deputies are working two per shift for days and nights. So it's less stress on overtime or bringing deputies out to assist with other stuff. So we're going to build that into all the events that we have coming up. And other than, we already have some canine guys, the floppy ear dogs, and I believe the mounted unit and some other people, SWAT truck coming out for the safety event also. So we'll have a pretty good representation here.
I want to comment on that. I forgot to tell you guys, I just want to remind you that the April 23rd, we're going to have also a safety awareness day, because the Saturday is the safety awareness day. And it's going to be the police department, the firefighters, it's going to be food trucks, it's going to be nurses with the hospital talking about safety for the kids, and a lot of little things like presents for the kids and games. So also, we have a good April.
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
Excellent.
All right, next slide. Annual numbers. You're going to see some uptick on this. You're going to see it from now on pretty much until you've filled out your residences. As you can see, everything's kind of going up a little bit. There's no crazy jumps in it, and I'll cover some of these individually as we go along. As you can see, persons crimes, there was 1 for the entire year in 2021, and there was 1 for the entire year of 2022. And both of those happened, I'll get into it, but both of those happened out on Seminole Pratt Whitney, not residences of Westlake. All right, calls for service. 2021, 2022 is very similar in comparison. Most of the calls that you had is self-initiated by the deputy, whether it's a traffic stop, just checking out with somebody, walking around a business, anything of that nature is what would fall into that blue area where it's a self-initiated activity. 5% of the activity was stuff that's residences called into the sheriff's office in 2021, and it changed by 1% in 2022. So as you can see, from 2021 to 2022, there were a little over 9,000 more calls for service in the city of Westlake, but the self-initiated and the regular calls for service actually still mirror up. So most of those are self-initiated activities. Persons crimes. There was 1 robbery this year. It was a student that got jumped by some other students right out in front of the 7-Eleven. There was multiple arrests made on that. When they beat up the kid, they took a cell phone. So it was prosecuted as a robbery. And I believe 3 arrests were made on that. So it's not something that is going to be an ongoing issue that we look at. Property crimes, construction thefts, continue to be a little bit of an issue. Now, some of these, what they're taking in a lot of the cases is cabinets, washers and dryers, electrical wiring. There's usually a 3 to 4 day window when it could have happened, so it's difficult to do some follow-up. And we've talked about this several times where you have so many crews working on so many different houses in the same area that it's tough to really identify who should or should not be there, or if it's people working on multiple job sites that might be taking stuff from one or the other. But that continues to be a minor issue still. We're looking at still around 1 a month, which is a pretty good number to have considering how many homes you have here under construction. Vehicle burglaries, you had from 0 to 10. Now, 9 of those 10 occurred in one day by the same 4 youths, and they were arrested. Now, they were only arrested on 4 of the 9 thefts because we couldn't put them in the other 5 cars, but we know it's the same kids that came in and hit all of them that night. So again, it looks like you had a major jump, but it was just a spike from one night. We identified the kids, we arrested them, and there's still some of the kids that we're monitoring on a regular basis out here.
You know if they were prosecuted?
Yes. I know that at least 4 of the charges they were actually prosecuted on. Now, whether or not they deferred it at a later time, or I know some of these kids they were all from the youth services homes that are out here under DCF. DCF has 5 homes that are in the acreage area. All those homes are basically last chance homes that kids get put into when they have nowhere else to go, nowhere else to put them. They've been through the foster home programs. They've been through other programs where they put the kids, but these are the last chance homes before they get put into long-term detention facilities. So if they go in and do 6 months or 21 days or whatever, they come back out and they have to put them back in the same homes. They're the only homes we have in the county that they can put these kids in. So sometimes you'll have 6, 7, 8 months where nothing happens. And then all of a sudden you'll have a couple burglaries that happen. And we find out that, okay, 1 or 2 certain kids that go back into these homes kind of lead the other kids into doing bad things. And that's what we find out happens. So we're trying to, I have a program that we put in effect with Lutheran Services, which runs the homes in DCF, and Chow Reed, who's the state attorney that deals with juvenile crimes. And we keep a really close eye on these kids when they come out. So we kind of understand when they're coming out and what they're doing. And we sit and talk to the kids. And it's a big program that I've been doing since 2017. But like I said, every once in a while, a wrong kid comes out and he'll influence 1 of the 2 other kids to do something stupid. And you have something like this that will happen. So if you want to, anyone wants to talk more online about that, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to.
But I will say your response to that specific night was uncanny. Like
Yes, it is.
that was phenomenal.
Well, you have a great issue, not a bad issue to have here when you have 1 or 2 deputies, but you have 4 or 5 in the surrounding area that will come real fast, a D bureau or street team, and several other deputies that we usually pull out on something like this. And whenever we have issues with these kids in the homes, I call out Bert Goudreau, my sergeant, and his street team guys, and we come out with unmarks and we sit on these kids and we watch them. We have a pretty good idea because every time they run away, they have to be reported into the system. So we know, okay, these kids ran away on this night at this time. They showed back up at this time. Oh, these burglaries happened this time. You know, we have a pretty good sense
I
of
think it
what.
was within like 12 hours you had warrants served and
Yes, I do have to say Sergeant Goudreau is probably one of the best sergeants in the agency. He makes me look good on a daily basis until he talks to politicians and he doesn't do it right. So as long as I keep him in his lane and he just does the work and not actually brief people, then we're good. So he will find your people, he will catch the people. But I've already been told by a couple other, like the Lockstatcher Groves said, please don't let him brief again. So, but I love him. He's awesome.
He's great in my book.
All right. Map of the burglaries. Like I said, you have a lot more homes going in now, so it's spread out throughout the entire area. They're really not concentrating on any one area. And you're going to see this as a trend with your traffic stops, with your burglaries, with your thefts, with your vandalisms. They're all starting to spread out as your community gets bigger and bigger and bigger and as your homes fill in. Property crimes, you had 1 stolen vehicle for the entire year, and I believe it was a work truck that was taken out of one of the back areas. Not a truck, I think it was a trailer that was taken out of one of the back areas. There it is. You get 1 crime. Property crimes, thefts and vandalisms, not crazy numbers again. You average 1 every month and a half or so. Vandalisms, we're starting to see it a lot in the parks right now. I know you had some issues with your pool area. Acreage Community Park is getting hit. A lot of the parks in the area are getting hit.
Is one of these 2022 supposed to be?
Yes. Did they put the wrong number?
Yeah, they just both say 2021. I'm assuming the second
I was just testing you to make sure you're paying attention. The bottom one should be 2022.
Got it.
But what we're seeing with the trends is they're just younger kids that are actually going in and drawing stuff on the playgrounds. We've had that in the city. We've had that at Arden. We've had it out here in the community park. So that's something that we're seeing happening more and more. And I know we've worked with Ken finally to get.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right. We worked with Ken finally. I think we're getting some LPR cameras finally installed in the city. If you're not familiar with those, LPR cameras basically record every tag that comes in and out of your city on both northbound and southbound traffic on Seminole, Pratt, Whitney. They capture every single tag, but nothing really happens with any of that information. But if we go back and all of a sudden we see we got 8 burglaries that happen in a certain time frame, and we get a partial tag on something, say, hey, it was and we had this happen not long ago on a lady that was a hit and run and they got a partial tag. We go back into the LPR system, run that partial tag in there, and anything that matches the partial tag, it shoots back out at you. And there was a hit and run with injuries. and the guy just took off, and we ended up catching him the next day, or her the next day, because her car was caught on the LPR camera. So you'll have that here. If you have any of these issues where we got 5, 6, whatever happened in a night, and we know it's overnight between certain time periods, we can go back and check the LPR cameras for any of that suspect information. It's a great tool to have, and it ties into the entire county. We have them in Wellington. They're putting them up in Royal Palm. We're going to have them out here. They're in Lake Worth. They're in Belglade. We have them out on State Road 7. We have them out on Southern Boulevard out by 20 Mile Bend. So any of these vehicles, if they hit here and then they go to other locations, out to Belglade, down to Broward County, whatever cameras it passes, you'll see the actual movement of the vehicle, where it's going and which way they're traveling. It's a huge tool to have in the city to assist with crime fighting. I can't say enough about it. It's awesome, and it's real time. So if you have a tag in there, a stolen vehicle in there, and all of a sudden the stolen vehicle enters the city of Westlake, you'll have an alert put out to every deputy that works in this area. For Westlake, for the acreage, for Wellington, for Royal Palm, the alert will hit saying, hey, this car is a stolen car. It just passed this location going in this direction. And it puts all the deputies on alert, and they go out and they start hunting for it. And those are the vehicles you usually have that come in and do your burglaries and do some of the other things. It's stolen cars that they have to come in so they can dump the cars later on, or we chase them, or we don't chase them. Actually, we never chase them. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's a huge tool.
The LPR, that's something that the sheriff's office puts in?
Yes.
To the city? Okay. We
Yes,
just requested it, sheriff's office,
There's-
sheriff office
They,
provides it.
They're very generous.
It's a very generous combination. We're paying a small portion of the overall cost of it. The other has been as part of a project that PBSO had that they're working with us on. And all the equipment and stuff is maintained by them and goes to them. So
Right.
all we
Awesome.
do is supply some electricity.
It's kind of like a dope deal. The first 2 are free. No, it is. I got to tell you, other cities are paying full price to get these throughout their entire city. And if we do end up putting more here at some point, like I said, it's going to be a cost to the city to do so. But like I said, they're a huge asset. You have everything covered here. If Persimmon goes through and you put one on Persimmon on the other end or something, you really have your entire city locked down for that kind of stuff.
I mean, when Persimmon goes through.
Yes, when it does.
When do they go live?
That's
We're finishing some electric issues. They're working on the poles, and the camera guy is getting his locations to make sure he can cover the entire lane. So he's working for the areas. So we've had a couple meetings and it's back and forth.
Awesome.
Very soon, hopefully.
all right. The map of thefts and vandalism, like I said, it's spreading a little bit east on here as your developments are going up. And bottom one should say 2022. Motor vehicle crashes, they're going up. They're going up countywide again. This is still a trend that's been going up for probably 4 years now. You have a lot of traffic out here, a lot of houses being built. You know, if they start building the GL homes out here and putting those other 3,800 homes out here, then it's going to continue to happen. The roads are busy. They're always busy. And there's always a lot of accidents in this area. We have a lot of traffic initiatives that we do out here. We stop a lot of people. We cite a lot of people. We're going to cover that sometime shortly too for this area. But the accidents still happen. The people still speed. I still look back at COVID and when people stopped going to work and sitting in their homes for 2 years or a year and a half, and then they come out and go back to work. It's like everyone forgot how to drive or forgot how to be nice. It was crazy. And it's just, they still just haven't gotten back to where it should be yet. So.
Do you know main cause of most of the accidents? Speeding?
It's speeding is a majority of them. Yes. Speeding and not paying attention because everyone's on their cell phones.
Okay.
You know, they can't really track that because if they ask somebody, were you on your cell phone? They're going to say, no, I wasn't on my cell phone. Oh, they slowed too fast. But when you drive down the street and you look at the cars around you, I guarantee if you look at 10 cars, 5 or 6 of them are on their phones. Guarantee it. I do it all the time. And I just sit there and shake my head as I like sit at a stop sign staring at the guy next to me on his phone. So that's probably a majority of it is distracted driving and speeding.
Okay.
All right, map of the accidents. They're still Majority of them are still out on Seminole Pratt Whitney, but you see on Town Center Parkway, you're starting to get some. I know that's something that the mayor and I and Ken Castle and I have discussed more than once with your roundabout and some of the issues with the residents not paying attention to the roundabout and speeding internally. We do have the traffic agreements now for the meadows, for the hammocks. And I think we're trying to, I think Sky Cove, we're working on Sky Cove, or they do.
Don't have the hammock.
I don't think they have theirs yet. The hammocks, they did have the hammocks,
They do have traffic.
but they do have a traffic agreement. Whether or not they want us in there doing anything is a different story.
Interesting.
The two that we have that I believe is, I thought it was the hammocks and the
Meadows?
meadows. In Sky Cove, they started Sky Cove.
You have Sky Cove North.
Yeah.
Working on Sky Cove South.
Interesting.
Yes.
And I reached out to Crestwind the other week, and they're going to start working on theirs for you.
Okay. Nice. Any questions or good? Traffic stop citations, they went up a little this year, 853 last year, 912 this year. That's just within that one little section of Seminole Pratt, mostly Town Center Drive. It's a fair amount of traffic stops to do in that small area.
Is this what most of the charts look like for different areas? Not Westlake? Is it usually about even between the stops and the warnings and then a small little pie? Like, do all the pies look like this, or is ours unique?
No, to be honest, we have District 15 motor units that work other parts of Seminole Pratt. So they usually don't work within the city unless there's unless we're trying to do a project. Hey, we need to hit this hard, go in the city. Now, wherever your motorcycle cops are and your traffic units are, you're probably going to have more tickets. They write tickets more. That's their job, and some of them love it. Yeah, it really is scary. This is mostly your deputies that are assigned to Westlake. So it's up to them. We don't ever tell them, hey, we want you to start doing this or that. We leave it up to them. If they decide they will, if we start seeing a big issue with crashes more often or a lot more speeding, then we're going to tell them, hey, you need to stop being nice and you need to make some people aware that you're going to get a citation if you do that. But short of that, we don't really get involved in telling them what to do. That's not a good practice from what I've seen, and it could lead to issues. So
there really are no quotas at the end of the month?
Absolutely not. There are no, absolutely not. Now, this is what I tell my guys and girls. You come out to work, you're in Westlake, it's not busy. You move around a fair amount, you need to cover areas. But if you can tell me that what you do in a day where you can't fit in 5 traffic stops and stopping and talking to at least 5 residents throughout your shift, then you're not doing your job. They're not busy running call to call to call. So they need to be a community policing unit. They need to be out here contacting people, talking to people, getting to know who lives in the neighborhoods and running some traffic. They need to do that. Now, if they run 5 tickets or they run 5 people and stop them and write 2 tickets and 3 warnings, I'm good with that. If they write 5 warnings, I'm good with that. But if they write everything they do in 50 traffic stops as a warning, then I'm going to start questioning it. You didn't stop 50 people for doing the exact same thing. I'm sure some of them were, speeding 10, 12, 15 over, because they do. I see it all the time out here. And some of those people need to get cited. You give them a warning 6, 7, 8 times in a row, you're not teaching them to fix the problem. So yes, we do have conversations with them about that on occasion, but that's not a general practice to tell them you have to write a certain amount of citations. Right? As you can see, traffic stops have bled into the city on the other roadways. They're spreading it out, and that's the guidance we're giving the deputies, is to make sure that they're hitting all areas within the city of Westlake, not just out on Seminole Pratt. Arrests, we talked about it earlier. You had there were 2 assaults that happened in the district. There was 1 armed assault. That was the case with the kid was beat up and he had his phone taken. So they actually made multiple arrests on that. Child abuse call, harassing communications, and then the robbery. Again, it double cites it because there were multiple charges. So it shows the different charges that were on.
Why does it say there was 7 armed assaults? I thought you said that was the only one.
No, they made, for the robbery, they charged the 5 people for the robbery. But for the assault, 2 other people were involved in the assault, but they walked away
Yeah,
after
so
it
that
happened.
filled
and
that
then-
one incident.
Yes, it's all coming off of one incident. It's skewed. It makes it look like there were a lot more issues, but there weren't.
Okay.
Property crime arrests, we had 1 for the thefts, 1 for vandalisms, and the vehicle burglaries. Like I said, there were 5 kids arrested for the vehicle burglaries out of the 9 that we made the arrests on. Actually, that's not 5. There were 2 kids arrested, but they cleared 5 of the charges and not the other 4. It's a little, yeah, confusing. Miscellaneous, there was a possession of narcotics case, a couple of drunk drivers. Misdemeanors is usually traffic violations if they don't have a driver's license or suspended license. And then multiple people were stopped who had an arrest warrant, and they were actually stopped and charged with the arrest warrant and taken to jail. Community service, I know there were a few other things that happened this past year, but 2 of the main events that we took part in was your 4th of July event and your food truck invasion. Like I said, we're going to continue to do what we can for all of the events that you have here with the safety patrol and your other events that you're putting together. And I'm sure you'll do the 4th again and the food truck. So whatever you have together, we'll work with you on getting you as much help as we can without a charge to the city. I know, like I said, we'll have at least the 2 deputies on at all times. And usually my street team guys, I'll get them out here. My sergeant and the 2 deputies that work for him. So that's 4 deputies and a sergeant right off the bat without having to worry about funding or anything for it. We'll do whatever we can to help you with any of those programs.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And with that, just questions if you have any. No?
Are you getting everything you need from us?
I am. I wish I can get a building. That's the only thing I'm waiting on. So we'll see what happens with
We're working on
that.
that. We're filling the lake.
We're close. Believe me, I've made all the phone calls I can to that office to try to get them moving, and they're ignoring me. So they listened to my first 2 calls, and then they just stopped answering my phone calls. So, but yes, other than that, everything. I couldn't ask for more from what Mr. Castle has given me, and Minto has been awesome. So they gave us good space over here, good vehicles, access to electricity, water, everything. So John is, like I said, I couldn't be more happy. So, right.
Thank you.
We couldn't thank you enough and all your guys.
Yeah.
The whole team. It's just incredible.
Fire's not here.
Fire.
Christmas Professional Firefighters, Local 2928. I don't know if you guys know that Chief Oliveri got promoted, Oliveria. He got promoted to EMS, Division of EMS, or not. Where the dispatch center is, emergency management, yes. Whew. Anyway, he got promoted. I think I have a person that they're gonna bring here, but we're not 100% sure on the Women's History Month. It may be a female who's coming here as a chief, but we're not sure yet, so I don't 100% know. But anyway, if she comes, she's great. You'll like her. Other than that, I just want to let you know, if you didn't know, Chief Oliveri was promoted. He's out. He's promoted, so you won't see him again.
Congrats.
Unless he brings
I
in,
just got to know him.
yeah, he's a great guy. But unless he brings her in or introduce her, she may just come on her own if she comes. Okay.
Super.
Other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Christmas. Mr. City Attorney,
No report this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. City Manager.
Just a couple things. One, just to remind everybody that the Safety Awareness Day is happening. We are all set up for that. Did have a meeting this past week with Sergeant Godot and the detail for Fourth Fest. We're all set up and scheduled for that. It's all worked out. We have the operations schedule all set up. And one other thing is, just as a point of interest, the James Business Center. Originally, they were going to build the one building, and then they were going to build a smaller building separately. They're building both at the same time and are fully leased.
Oh, great.
That's fantastic.
Great news. That's all I have. Less construction later on.
It's great to be the city of Westlake. Public comments.
Mayor, I received no previous comments. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hands. If you're a virtual member, please raise your virtual hands. If you've been muted, please press *6. Please state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes. Mayor, I have no comments.
If there is no further business, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:34 PM. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.